Hey guys, we're back. It is the GSL Code A. 2 matches down, 2 to go. I'm Doa. With me is Wolf. And next up, we have got a TVP.
Yeah, we've got Xenix Byun, fresh from Code S, falling down here. And
back to Code A
in
again.
his danger day, man. He's playing against FXO Oz. He used to be known as Endless Foyu.
Oh, that's okay.
And
I didn't know his old ID was.
Twilight Foyu, also Secret Protoss.
I knew Twilight,
and, Height Sparkies and Brood War. He's a lot of different IDs.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He actually took out Slayer's Boxer in the Code A qualifiers in the finals of their group. But let's take a look at Byun first. Now, this guy, I think he's a pretty good Terran. At least he was for a little while. He might be kind of falling behind the times
I think he's definitely the favorite here, though.
I agree, yeah.
You know, he didn't bring his puppy with him today, but I don't think he's going to need his puppy. He looks pretty confident. He looks pretty happy. He's smiling right now.
He's always smiling, though. This guy, always has a smile on his face.
He's such a friendly guy. I really like Byun. He had his struggles through his first few seasons of the GSL, and now he made it finally through to Code S and made it all the way to the round of 4. Next thing you know, he is in the round of 32 in the Code A. But I think this guy's got a chance to go far and maybe even win the Code A season. He's one of the top guys, I think. Now, Oz is a top pros as well. He hasn't really shown himself in the GSL very much. This is his first time qualifying for Code A. He's played in the Team League. Obviously, you guys have seen him there. He's my teammate. I've seen him a lot. I've seen his play a lot. He's pretty good. He's got a chance of beating Byun here, but it's not going to be easy for him.
He knows a little bit of English. He knows how to say "sup, son."
Actually, his favorite things to say, man.
That's true.
Yeah, his English is actually one of the best of any Korean I've ever talked to that's a pro gamer. And he almost knew no English when I met him, and he's actually been studying English quite a bit, and his English has improved so much in the time that I've known him. So he's really been working hard on that. While being a pro gamer, he really wants to learn English. It's really important to him.
Very cool. I'm really curious to see how he does, because when he played against Boxer in the qualifier, he did really well. I mean, it was pretty I'm not going to say it was. I hesitate. You know what? You can hear me. I almost want to say one-sided, but it was close enough to not being one-sided that I'm a little bit uncomfortable saying it that way.
Well, what happened in those games was there were a lot of fights that were very close.
Yeah.
And then when Boxer lost one little specific fight, Boxer tried to stay in there and hang on, and then it looked really one-sided after that. That's really what happened.
Yeah,
there were close games, but Boxer lost those initial fights, and then Oz just out-macroed him, and then from there it looked like he got trashed. But they were close games.
Well, we'll have to see how he can do against the GSL Code A finalist. Byun was, of course, I think you mentioned this already, one of the finalists in the first season of Code A ever. He ended up losing a pretty interesting match to OGS Top, actually, in that.
Who himself went on to be a Code S finalist.
That's right, yeah. And a finalist both times. Never a winner, though, unfortunately. Oh, no, he did win Code A. What am I saying? I don't know. I'm growing crazy today, I guess. But, yeah, so Byun's good. But I think his TVT is better than his TVP.
Yeah, TVP is not a matchup Byun is known for.
That's right.
His TVT is definitely his strongest matchup. His TVP is decent. It's not bad, but it's not the best out there. And our first map is actually going to be Tal'Darim Altar. It's going to be a macro map, and Oz actually really likes to play macro games. He can do timing attacks, but he likes to play a macro game, so this is going to lend towards his style, and Byun's very macro-oriented as well, so we actually might have a long, exciting game on our hands here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see this because I don't actually remember a whole lot about Byun's TVP. I haven't seen it too much lately. Like you said, he's not really known for it as much. In TVT, he's actually kind of known for doing a little bit bizarre sort of strategies. So I'm wondering if this is going to kind of carry through in TVP. I always love to see, very unique things. We'll have to wait and find out. Of course, you can't talk about TVP without talking about the Marine Tank Banshee thing.
Well, we could see some of that. I don't think we'll see that on Tal'Darim Altar.
Yeah, this map and not as
on Tal'Darim Altar, I think we'll probably see him do a Wonder Barracks expand.
Yeah,
it's pretty much Byun's style. He likes to macro, likes to play a longer game, and on a map like Tal'Darim, I think seeing anything but that would actually be a little bit surprising.
Yeah, the question is, will we see Ghost play as good as Selects was yesterday? That was unbelievable.
That was pretty unbelievable. Watch those VODs.
Yeah, if you
check
guys,
that out.
Yeah, Select yesterday played so well. It was awesome. That guy is so good.
Yeah, man. He had those ghosts, and he selected those zealots for sniping.
He did.
He selected each individual one, and they all died. He sniped some Templar.
Yep. Snipe's pretty strong, man. So I don't know. It's Teldrim Malta is one of those big open maps too, where it's kind of easier, I should say, to get that positioning on the Templar that you want if you're careful about it. You know, especially if you get something like Cloak. They don't happen to have an observer there. So we'll have to see what happens. I mean, the spawning positions impact a lot into what goes on in the game, too. I mean, cross positions on this map are a lot different than, you know, top versus bottom or on the left and right or, you know, top versus top.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And looks like we're ready to go.
Yeah. Looks like these guys are going to start. The countdown's going to begin. They're going to go head-to-head.
Here are our maps, by the way. Tal'Darim Altar, of course, we talked a lot about that already. Metalopolis will be played no matter what. And then last, we'll have Dual Sight.
I like Dual Sight for TVP. It's kind of fun.
Now, one thing that
twirling his microphone around there.
That Oz really likes to do, and we may end up seeing, and Byun is probably going to be prepared for this, is Oz likes to go for a fast Nexus, like one gate Nexus, for example, and then go into the fastest DT as possible after that to catch players off guard, because the timing is a little bit quicker than players would expect for DTs.
It's really interesting.
And, you know, that type of harassment is something that Oz really likes to do into the mid-game, and we may end up seeing that on Tal'Darim Altar here. But the countdown is starting. We're about to find out just what it is that we're going to see. Oz versus Byun, a former Code S. Round of 4 player playing against a fresh meat player, Oz. Who's going to come out on top? I am Wolf, with me is Doa. Jumping into Tal'Darim Altar right now.
All right, well, up at the top right part of the map, we have our yellow Terran player from the team Zenex. His name is
Zenex Byun.
He owns a pretty cute puppy, but is he going to own our next player? That's the question. There he is, down at the bottom left part of the map, our blue Protoss player from the team FXO.
FXO Oz.
And they changed his name not to say Z.
Yeah, that's right. FXO Z. Well, has to be Oz. Thanks to Sony Ericsson, Intel, and G-Skill, I guess. Thank you, everybody. And, yeah, so there was one thing I was going to say, and I forgot.
You forgot?
Oh, there's the barracks. Will he get a gas, or will he just go one racks expand? Most Terrans, like you mentioned, Wolf, do prefer to just do the one racks expand without worrying about gas early on. Easy way to get a command center out.
And of course, Oz scouting at Gateway. Probably going to be seeing his opponent the second time these scouts. Is going to maybe bump into the SCV. Byun definitely going to be doing that one barracks expand. It's become evident at this point.
Well, first gas for Oz as well, so he's actually not going to be going for a super fast expand. Nothing like Nexus first or Nexus after like Gateway or anything like that. Wants to play a little bit safer. He is fresh meat, as you said.
Yeah, fresh meat, man. He's the new guy on the block. And look at that, the probe does bump into the SCV, so now he's absolutely sure.
FXO fresh meat just sounds like a really funny ID. I don't know. And probe has to make a run for it.
Byun obviously FXO fresh prince. That would be pretty cool. Like that.
It's like, then a couple of banelings, they were up to no good. Started making trouble in my neighborhood.
I made one wrong force field and my mom got scared and she was like, need to make a better wall off next time. That didn't really work out like I wanted it
I don't know. It doesn't rhyme at all, but it's okay. I like the effort that was involved in it. You went above and beyond the Call of Duty there, I think.
Well, that probe actually got into Byun's base somehow. And is able to see both the gases going up, also saw the command center. Actually, didn't catch the command center.
No.
But he knows what's going on now because the gases are leaving.
He's probably got a pretty good idea. Well, his probe dies, so he'll never know for sure, but, you know, who knows. Well, actually, another probe comes in from behind. That's a Zealot. That's not a probe.
Yeah, Oz really likes to put on pressure with his first Zealot, but of course, at cross map, it's just not going to work. Zealot can't really do anything against good micro Marines.
Yeah.
Well micro Marines, to use proper English. Oz actually had a lot of Chrono Boost saved up, and he's just now deciding to Chrono Boost once on his Nexus rather than Chrono Boosting his Cybernetics core.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, he's really planning on something a little bit tech heavier, it seems like, getting that second gateway down. Hard to tell. I mean, the nice thing about TVP is that there's a lot of different options that players can choose.
Yeah, definitely.
You've got this like smirk on your face.
I was just like,
what's that all about?
I keep thinking about like
what is it, a train wreck, that Fresh Prince thing?
Yeah.
It wasn't so bad. I'm trying to think of like Starcraft things that rhyme with the Fresh Prince theme song now.
Someone's gonna have to make a. Actually, someone made a parody of it. It's called The Fresh Prince of the Lair or something like that.
Oh,
There's a YouTube
yeah.
video. I saw that.
There was some sort of. I thought I saw some thread with that too. I don't know.
Oz looks like he wants to do a 6-gate, man. I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like he might be doing that here.
Well, he's 2/3 of the way there. He's got 4 gateways.
And
He's
the
on
pylon
his
goes
way.
down. He's actually doing. This is something that I love to do. This is actually a really cool build. You just do a 2-base 4-gate. You have a lot of production. If your opponent goes for 1 Rax expand and leaves just 1 bunker there, you can actually break him with a 4-gate. Especially if he's going for something like we see here with siege mode being researched. So he's following this up with siege mode. He's getting siege tanks, and that's actually going to mean that he doesn't have very many units out. He's going to have 1 tank out, and siege mode might be done when the attack hits, but mostly he's just got a bunker and a few extra marines laying around.
Well, unfortunately, that's true. Yeah, he's not going to have a whole lot to defend this, but that's really interesting. You know, like I mentioned before the game started, Byun likes to do kind of weird, crazy, different things, and this type of play would definitely qualify, I would say.
Oh man, this is going to be so hard for Byun to hold. Here we go. Guardian shields up. Force fields are going to drop down and block that tank out. Going to block the SCVs as well.
Nice force fields.
And he targets down the bunker. The bunker falls. The siege tank doing a decent amount of damage though.
Yeah, that siege tank really helped out quite a bit, but with some more warpins, there come a couple stalkers. He's going to try to push again. Mostly sentries there. Siege mode does finish though. So Oz is going to take some extra damage from this, focusing down the tank, but a second one is out as well.
More SCVs coming. Those force fields weren't the best, actually.
No.
Didn't trap the Marines out. And now the SCVs are chasing him as well, and it looks like Byun is going to be fine from here.
Wow.
But this isn't an all-in, this is just a timing attack. He's making a lot of sentries, though, a little bit more than I would have liked to see.
Byun is making 3 factories right now. He's going into heavy mech play. This is so exciting to see in TVP. I hope he lives past the next 2 minutes.
Well, we're going to find out.
Let's
it looks
see.
like the Zealots are trying to target down the siege tank, but they can't close the distance. And the armies do trade a little bit right now.
Wow.
Byun lost a lot of SCVs. It's 44 probes to 29 SCVs, so Byun holds this. He does have mules, so he's going to be perfectly fine from here. But like you were saying, in the background of all this, 3 factories are made. He's gone up to 4 factories. Right now, he's adding 3 reactors. He's going into heavy Blue Flame Hellion play.
Yeah, just insane amounts of Blue Flame Hellions. Templar Archives for Oz. You can get some, you can obviously use that to storm the Hellions later on down the line, but if the Hellions catch your Templars out of position, they're going to die pretty fast. This is the next Byun. I mean, this is like classic Byun to do something like this on this map.
Yeah, and I feel like Oz could have actually made that attack work just a little bit better.
Yeah, there are a couple little mistakes.
He didn't have
here
enough
and there.
stalkers. You know, if you don't have enough stalkers, then you can't do the damage that you really need to do. Sentries killing siege tanks is just not going to work. It's not going to fly.
You have to think, too, that he was probably not expecting to run into siege tanks there as well. That's, you know, that was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
I'm
he
sure,
warped
too.
in a few more sentries after seeing the tanks, which really baffled me.
Yeah.
Well, Templar are starting to be warped in here. Charged on the way as well. I think he's going to actually just make some Archons.
Yeah, Charge Lot Archon can actually do pretty well against Marine Tank, especially if you get like the +1 armor for your Zealots pretty fast. That can help quite a bit as well.
I'd like to see Oz take a quick third from here. Byun is kind of turtling up in his base. He's got a nice little wall off. He's making eBay there. He hasn't really moved out on the map. In fact, Oz has the watchtowers right now, so he's going to see this move out that Byun's about to do. There are a lot of Hellions, though. 5 Hellions being produced at a time. They have Blue Flame, and the patch hasn't hit in Korea yet. That Blue Flame is even stronger than it would be normally.
Yeah, the tanks are, you know, he's got 3 tanks, and that's nothing to really bat your eyes at either, man. I mean, that's dangerous.
This is actually a really unusual push coming out here for Byun.
I think it's awesome, man.
The Zealots have been taken out before they could even breathe, man.
Yep. And here we go, moving on across the map. Oz falling back here, except for one Templar. Is like, where's everybody going?
Yeah, Templar are a little bit slow. Takes them a little bit longer. Now, even if he engages with the Stalkers, the Zealots are taking so many hits. Nice force fields here, but he's losing a bunch of Zealots, which he's going to need to defeat the Marines and the tanks. He can't defeat the tanks and Marines with Stalkers alone.
Yeah.
Storm is not done yet either, and these Templar are getting hit. losing a lot of Templars. This is a really cool and unique style from Byun. It's doing so much damage. Bunkering, he is over here in the corner. He's actually making a barracks here so he can lift up and get vision. This is so smart.
Making a barracks for vision is something that I've actually talked to people about for a long time, since early in Starcraft 2. I'm so happy to see him doing it. I think it's something that should really be used a lot more. It's only 150 minerals. It's a great investment, something like this.
And look at that, it doesn't even need vision because the Hellions are on the high ground, and Oz is actually looking dead from here. He does have a pylon hidden over at the right side of the map. He's warping in Zealots to do a counterattack, but if those depots get raised, it's not going to work at all.
Well, Byun needs to be a little bit careful. He needs to have a couple units left behind to defend, and he's not doing that right now. He's just basically rallying everything. The supply depots do get raised, so he's going to be okay momentarily here. But yeah, only a couple Hellions right now. He's got to repair. And so Oz might be able to do some decent damage to Byun here too.
Well, with that repair going on, he actually missed one of the depots. Yeah. And now the Zealots are getting in, but meanwhile, the Nexus is starting to take some hits. The gateways have been unpowered at the natural for Oz, losing so many Stalkers. And even though Oz is doing a lot of damage right now, with just SCVs and Hellions, he actually might be able to defend this, and Oz isn't really going to have any more production.
Well, I mean, the thing is, too, he can always just lift off his buildings and fly them off into the corner of the map, too, and there's nothing Oz can do about it, so...
Yeah, there's nothing he can really do. More Zealots coming in here. SCV is doing an okay amount of damage, but the tanks are popping out here as well.
Yep, pulling back some of the forces there to clean this up, and once this attack dies, I think there's a good chance we're going to see a GG from Oz, it looks like.
Well, actually,
really cool
he only has 3 tanks left, and where did all of his Marines go?
I don't know. One's in a bunker,
they say he sent them all back. I was going to say, well, I don't know what happened to his Marines. Yeah, Oz is in a tough spot here. Right now, though, with that attack, he killed a ton of SCVs. He didn't actually defend that as well as I thought he would. This might be a bad time to attack for Oz, though.
Ooh.
He does have a storm, but he misses it.
Oh, man. Those Zealots are in big trouble.
This is such a weird game, man.
It is, but I'm loving it. I love this game.
And the Hellions doing so much damage to these Zealots.
Oh, wow.
The Archon trying to do work, but unfortunately for him,
I've never seen
just took too many tank shots
before.
Me neither, man.
Tanks help, but wow.
The tanks are killing that Nexus, and that's it.
GG. Wow, what a unique first game from Zenex Byun. Very, very cool. This is why this guy is always a dangerous factor in the game, because he's going to have these crazy builds that nobody else does right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would have expected that type of follow-up. It was a really cool thing to do because it holds timing attacks. You saw that it was pretty crisp. He actually was wanting to make a second bunker, and if he had a second bunker when that attack hit, he would have been completely fine. And that follow-up is just so unique in that the Hellions give him map control.
Exactly.
And so much. And you could see Oz looking a little bit upset, but Shoya's in there to calm him down, help him out. Shoya has always been a great coach. He's really supportive. You know, when his players lose, he supports all of his friends too. Shoya actually comes to matches sometimes when there are no FX Open players here. He comes out, supports his friends. He is a really great guy.
He is a good guy. I kind of hope we see him back in the GSL eventually at some point, but it's hard to play, you know, and have all those coaching duties as well. We saw the Wind eventually fall out of GSL as well, so who knows? But yeah, it's always here. Always a supportive guy. But Byun's strategy, man, it was so cool. And I feel like Oz responded correctly to it. You know, he went charge lot Archon. That's a very normal thing to do if you see your opponent going Marine tank, but Byun went huge amounts of Hellions and tanks and submarines, which is very different than, you know, the normal PvP thing with
what's the answer to a good amount of tanks and Hellions at your natural?
Void Rays.
I'm like, there isn't. I mean, if he's got Marines too, like, there's no good answer. That's a really good composition.
Yeah, well, it's hard to switch into whatever would be the answer.
Zealots and Stalkers would work well if you could engage them straight up, but the Zealots would have to run all the way around. The Hellions are there. It's just such a smart idea by Byun.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Love to see innovation. That's awesome. Well, our second map is going to be Metalopolis. Classic map. Will we see some not-so-classic strategies from our players? We're about to find out. This is the GSL.